Hey, how y'all doing? It's Cooking with Dave once again. I'm Dave. Today I'm going to cook some spaghetti. I have had a lot of people ask me to cook spaghetti, and I've been putting it off, so I finally did it. This is American spaghetti. This is not Italian spaghetti. In Italy, if you order spaghetti, they give you some spaghetti noodles and ask you what kind of sauce you want on it. Red sauce or white sauce, or rosa bianca. In America, you have to order spaghetti, and we assume that you're talking about spaghetti sauce. So that's what we're making today. We're making spaghetti sauce. Which is good stuff. Same sauce that I put in my lasagna. It is good. Tomatoes, garlic, onions, some hamburger, some little tomato paste. Call it spaghetti. It's good stuff. Okay, I'm gonna bring you over here, show you how to do it. Okay, here we are at our stainless steel pot. What we're going to do first is take our hamburger. I'm going to use about 2 pounds of hamburger. 2 pounds of hamburger makes a lot of sauce. Make about enough for, I don't know, 5 or 6 people. We're just going to brown our hamburger in the pan. Alright, and as we're browning our hamburger, let's go ahead and spice it up. We're going to hit it with some pepper. Ooh, getting low on pepper. I'll go through some pepper. I'm telling you what, I use lots of pepper. I like pepper. Who don't like pepper? Some pepper, a little bit of salt. Don't use a lot of salt in this because we're going to cook it a long time. And the longer you cook it, the more that salt's going to come out, start making things taste salty. So just salt a little bit when you start out, and then you can come back. You can come back and add some more salt to it if you need to. And we're going to add, I don't know, say 1, 2, 3 good sized tablespoons of garlic. You're going to use garlic cloves. And use 3 or 4 garlic cloves. You want to get some garlic up in your spaghetti. We're going to use a whole cut up onion. You're going to get that flavor from the onion and that hamburger meat. It's going to be good. Y'all know it's going to be good. A nice big stir. And that fat from the hamburger will help to sweat out our onions and to get them start sauteing and caramelizing and ready for the spaghetti sauce. Just let that brown. Let's go ahead and hit it. Also with some Italian seasoning. You know we got to put Italian seasoning up in our spaghetti. Hit it with a bunch, whatever you think. I'm probably hitting it with 2 or 3 tablespoons. Alright. We're going to let that turn brown. Let's have the stove on medium. Just going to let it turn brown. Then we're going to drain off our excess fat and put our tomatoes in there. Now let's give it a check. Alright, hamburger is turning brown. Looking good. Mostly what we're trying to do is just cook the fat out the hamburger because we don't want to have a greasy sauce. So we want to cook all that fat out we can. And then I'm going to take my strainer and just strain that excess fat off of there. Alright, after I strain it off, I just dump it back in the pan. And we're going to be ready to add our tomatoes. Now see, we taking a look at it. Y'all see that? There's hardly no oil in it because we don't want an oily sauce. We want a nice tomatoey sauce. So if you don't get rid of that oil that you cook out of your meat, whatever kind of meat you're using, you're going to have some oily sauce. But see, we still have onions and garlic. It's all up in there. We didn't lose hardly any. Alright, I'm just going to take some diced tomatoes. I'm going to take 3 cans to start with. We might go with 4. I'm going to start out with 3 and see what that looks like. 3 cans of diced tomatoes and 2 cups of chicken broth. If you want to, you can use beef broth. I just like the chicken flavor that it brings to the spaghetti sauce. It makes it nice and good. Now, we're going to want this to be kind of soupy. So, I'm going to go ahead, because we're going to cook this down. We're going to cook spaghetti for a while. We want to cook it down, have it become one. So, I'm going to add back, I'm going to add a little more water. I'm going to add a couple cups of water. Now, don't worry about we added the water and we didn't use chicken broth, because we're going to cook this down. And a lot of that water is going to evaporate out. And when this thing thickens up, and becomes a sauce, it will be wonderful. Alright, there's one more thing we got to do. See, right now, all we really have is some hamburgers, tomatoes, and some onions. That's not spaghetti sauce yet. We got to turn this into a sauce. So, what makes a sauce for us is tomato paste. So take yourself some tomato paste. We put that right down in there. This can here is 12 ounces. So 12 ounces of tomato paste, 3 cans of tomatoes, 2 cups of chicken broth, and 2 cups of water so far. And if it's not soupy enough, we will add some more water or chicken broth if we think we need to. But it looks pretty soupy. We want to stir that all up in there, and that tomato paste is going to mix with those tomatoes and start giving us a sauce that we are looking for. If y'all have seen my lasagna video, this is the same exact sauce that I use in my lasagna. I might add some sausage to it for lasagna. But other than that, it's pretty much the same thing. We're just going to put it on medium and let this simmer, I don't know, for about an hour, and we'll give it a check. And if we need to do something to it, we will. And if we don't, we'll continue cooking it. I like to cook my spaghetti for at least 2 hours, maybe 3 hours, but at least 2 hours before I start eating it, to make sure it all becomes one and looks like a spaghetti sauce. Now the last thing we're going to do is add some bay leaves. I'm going to put 1, I like to make sure they're big, 2, 3, what y'all think? 4, alright, 4, that's not before, and we use 5. It's important to count your bay leaves so that you can take them out before you serve it when we're done cooking it. The bay leaf is going to give you a nice flavor. It's going to put a flavor almost like the sausage flavor when you eat sausage. I love it. The bay leaf hooks it up. Oh, I took a bay leaf out already. Alright, one more time. Let's go ahead and hit it with some more Italian seasoning. Now that we got our tomatoes in there, I'm going to hit it on, I guess, another tablespoon or so of Italian seasoning. Give that a nice big mix, and we're ready to go. All we got to do now is put a lid on it. Like I said, I'm going to turn it down to medium, maybe a little bit lower than medium. We don't want to boil it. We just want it to simmer on, you know, medium low, I guess, whatever it takes for your stove to simmer. And once we're already looking like spaghetti, it looks good. Now see, it's a little bit thin, and we want it to be a little bit thin because we're going to cook this down, and it's going to thicken up as we cook it, and it will be nice and thick for our spaghetti noodles. Alright, we are ready to go. I'm just going to put a lid on it, put it on medium, maybe a little bit lower medium. Alright, I've been simmering for about an hour now. I'm going to take a look at it. Got a little simmer going on there, cooking nicely. Starting to look like spaghetti sauce. Y'all see that? Man, that's going to be good. Tomatoes and onions and garlic. Bay leaves floating around there. Man, it looks good. Now what I'm going to do is give it a little taste and see, does it need anything? Does it need some salt? Maybe some more herbs? Maybe some pepper? That's good. Oh man, that is right on time. I think that's about perfect. Oh man. That's some kind of good. Gonna be good on some noodles. I'm gonna put some spaghetti noodles. Now, I've been simmering about an hour. I'm gonna let it simmer about another 30-45 minutes, and then I'll call it spaghetti. Alright, there's our spaghetti bowl. We're just gonna take a little bit of angel hair pasta, put it right there in the middle. I'm big. We're gonna take some of that spaghetti sauce and put it right there on the noodles. Oh man, that is gonna be good. I'm hungry. That's gonna be good. Be sure you don't put any bay leaves on the plate. Leave the bay leaves in the sauce, so go ahead and take them out and get rid of them. And then we're gonna top that off with just a little bit of formaggio, a little Parmesan cheese, like so. And we call that spaghetti. Spaghetti alla Lasagna.